You saw the pictures in the thumbnail. Yeah. So hey everyone, it's Teresa, aka Teresa Slay, owner of See the Slay Fashion House, and you're watching See the Slay TV. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe and enjoy the show. So today's video is just going to be me telling you a little story time about a huge blunder that I made in my career my early career as a fashion designer. Just give you guys a quick backstory about who I am, my brand, how it all started, and how we got to where we are today. So See the Slay technically started as a vanity company back in 2020. I started my very first business at 21 years old during the pandemic, my junior year of college in April 2020. It was See the Slay Vanity Company, where I sold mirrors. Because I was still in pharmacy school, I wasn't as consistent with it because, of course, school was my top priority, so my business had to go on the back burner. Once I graduated from pharmacy school, started working, started making more money, had more time on my hands, that's when I got back into business. Officially launched See the Slay Fashion House in 2024, June 2024, 6/24/24 to be exact, yes. And from there, I started off with just ready-to-wear products, but I still had a sewing machine. I bought a sewing machine. My birthday's in November, so November 2023 was when I bought my sewing machine, thread, scissors, all the basic essentials to get started, because I knew eventually I wanted to delve into custom wears, because at that time I was ordering so many custom dresses that I would only wear once. And I figured that, you know what, if these people can make it, so can I. So that's why I decided to start learning how to sew. I started my ready-to-wear business in June 2024, and I started selling dresses, bags, and shoes, which I still sell to this day. You can check out my website, seetheslay.com. So my ready-to-wear business launched in June 2024, but as a matter of fact, in May 2024 was when I made my very first dress. I'll put a little video of it here. And I didn't know what I was doing. I was such a beginner. It wasn't the best, but it was my first time making a dress to actually wear for myself. So yeah, it was a starting point, is where I started off. From there, I just kept growing, watching YouTube tutorials. I enrolled in this course by this YouTuber called Style by Reme. She's a big sewing instructor, Nigerian based, on YouTube. So yeah, I learned a lot from Style by Reme's tutorials, and then she put out an actual online course, which I enrolled in. And then in July 2025 was when I delved into custom wears. I'm part of this group called UIU, Umuibo Unite in Tri-State. So I started out by doing a little promo for the members for the 2025 convention. I'm gonna link that convention blog here. Is it there, here, or here? I'm not sure. What I did, because we were all gonna wear the same material for the block party, so I did a 2 for $99 deal. So you've got 2 outfits, a link to the mood board. I came to like your room to style you that day, just to make sure like everything fit. And that was my very first time making clothes for somebody other than myself. And I don't want to call it a disaster, because it was a learning lesson. I was a beginner, I was learning, it was a new experience for me, but it was just like, when that feeling of, you know, when you do something for the first time and it's like, I don't know what I'm doing. That's what it felt like. But in the end, they liked what they wore. I had to make some revisions, which is natural. Like, even the most experienced tailors, when you make something the first time, you still have to do a fitting, you still have to make adjustments. That's normal. That was just like it was a new experience, yeah. But it was a big learning lesson, and I'm really glad that I pushed myself and I put myself out there and challenged myself to do that. But here is where the big mistake happens, and here is where you guys clicked on this video, because I know you saw the pictures in the thumbnail. Yeah. So through UIU, I connected with a girl who was I think her cousin was getting married, and I offered to sew some dresses for the Ashwabi. So I ended up having to do, I think, stepmother of the bride, grandmother of the bride, and like 3 other aunties of the bride. I had to sew 5 dresses. I just saw it as, I want to perfect my skills and, you know, get my brand out there. So I didn't think too much of it. I wanted to, you know, challenge myself and put myself out there. So I'm not disappointed in that. So I did that. They're very nice women, older women, very nice, very friendly. They welcomed me. And it wasn't like, none of this ended up in bad blood, but I think the problem was that I bit off way more than I can chew, because that summer, 2025 summer, was so busy for me. I had to spend 2 weeks in Nigeria for my grandfather's burial. By the time I came back, I was back into the deep end. I had to sew the 4 dresses for the girls for UIU, and then the 5 dresses for the wedding, 9 dresses. And then I still have to sew my outfit for the gala night and for the block party as well. So 9 plus 2, 11 outfits. Guys, where was the time? I don't know.
So just to make sure that the timeline is clear, May 6th was when the request for tailors was put out and I volunteered myself. June 20th was when I put out my own offer for the UIU block party. And as you can see in the bottom of the message, it says that production was going to start July 4th because that was the time that I had come back from Nigeria after the burial. July 6th was also around the time that I was made aware of the scope of the project and that I was going to be making wedding Aso-Ebi dresses. That was the day that I got 3 out of the 5 ladies' measurements as well as the material for the dresses. Still, during the month of July, I had to focus on all the dresses for UIU since the convention was the weekend of August 7th. Once I came back on August 10th, that's when I got started on the wedding dresses, the 5 wedding dresses, plus the 2 dresses that I had to make for the Umuaka National Convention. August 13th was when a 6 dress order came in, and unfortunately I did accept it when I should have said no. The deadline for all of these dresses was the last week of August since the wedding and the convention were the weekend of August 28th. Let's continue.
It was chaotic, and it's just me. And it's my first time making clothes for people. And I just had to do the best with what I could. But let me tell you guys the truth, I was breaking down. So I think that's probably like the biggest mistake I made, just underestimating how much time and effort and energy it was all going to take. Because I think 4 out of the 5 Aso-Ebi dresses I had to make were all the same style. So it's just the same pattern, just different measurements. To rush through everything because I was running out of time. Long story short, I just bit off more than I can chew. I shouldn't have agreed, or what I should have done. I don't even know what I should have done, guys. I don't know what I should have done. Oh my gosh. I guess I shouldn't have agreed to do 5 dresses, maybe 1 or 2 instead. I had to rush through everything. And you know what they say, haste makes waste. So I'm gonna put up screenshots of what the dresses ended up like. It was so bad. I really had to rush through everything with the lace placement. I couldn't even like sew the lace onto the dress properly. I just like sewed it onto the waist and like down the sides. I don't even think I did down the sides. You guys can see from the pictures. The lace is just loose and flowing and it just wasn't fitting properly. The technique, the construction was poor quality. Of course, as a beginner, I wasn't an expert, but I was short on time. They trusted me to get this job done for them, so I didn't want to just refund them. Maybe that's what I should have did. Maybe I should have just like refunded half of the money for the other half of the woman, and they could have found somebody else to do it, and I just focused on the 1 or 2 that I knew that I could do. That would have been better, to produce 1 or 2 quality dresses rather than 5 terrible dresses. Oh my gosh, guys, I forgot to mention, there was actually a 6th girl, I think like a week or 2 to when she had to travel for the wedding, was referred by one of the Aso-Ebi women to me to make a dress for her. And like an idiot, I agreed. I don't know why I agreed to take on another dress. It's 14. And one of my that's why my dresses for the gala night and for the Umuaka National night, Umuaka National Cultural Night, they look so simple. They were just way simpler than what I really wanted because I was in a rush and I had to throw something basic together that could just, get the job done. But I really wanted to show out, but I couldn't because I was short on time. We have updated our customs policy. I need at least a month to your event. And if you need multiple people's dresses sewn, 1 month per person. So you need 5 girls' dresses sewn, I need 5 months. If you can't do 5 months, I'm not going to rush and stress myself. No, because that leads to waste. Learning how to say no if I know that I can't do a project. Well, I didn't know that I couldn't do it. I don't know what was going through my head. How horrible everything went. And then the last girl, I think her dress I messed up the most on. It's just like pieces, total pieces. It was so horrible. I wish I had the pictures, but I think I deleted it. I don't know why. And these ladies were very professional. For how bad those dresses turned out to be, they were very nice and professional. I was nice and professional too. I didn't blame them. Nobody blamed me. It was just, frustration. And I get it. I messed up their moment and I felt so bad. I cried myself to sleep 2 nights in a row. It was so bad because I don't like to disappoint people. Unfortunately, that is what I did. So what I ended up doing after that experience, I paused custom dresses. This is, where are we? We are in September 2025. I have to pause custom dresses. At the end of September 2025, I enrolled in a professional sewing and design course under Farage Couture, Princess Farage. She's a professional couture designer. I don't know if you guys know her, here in the New Jersey, New York area. So I enrolled in her course, not too far from the house. And it was a 3-month intensive course where I learned the basics of sewing, basic intermediate of sewing, just to refine my skills and practice my skills. And when I tell you that day one, I showed her my dress, because she asked me to, like, you know, let me see something that you made before. And I showed her what I thought was my best work, that red Achalugo dress. I think she's gonna say, like, oh wow, this is really nice. She was like, oh, okay. I'm like, dang, okay, cool. And then she's teaching me the basics, because she's asking me, like, oh, do you know how to do this? Do you know how to do that? Because you need to know how to do all of these things before you, because, like, basically she has 3 different courses, level 1, level 2, level 3. I enrolled in level 2 because I thought, okay, I'm not like a fresh beginner. I know how to use the sewing machine, so I'm not gonna do level 1. Let me enroll in level 2. Asking me, do you know how to do this? Do you know how to do that? And I'm like, no. So she was like, okay, so then today you're not going to start at level 2. We're going to start you at level 1, which is a 1 4-hour course where she teaches you the basics of, like, different sewing style, not sewing styles, but like different closures, like, you know, French seam, flat belt seam, clean seam, how to sew a bias and all of that. When I tell you, I first sat down in the sewing machine, the same sewing machine that I use, the Singer Heavy Duty, is the same sewing machine that she uses. I just sat at that sewing machine. I'm looking around the room like, yo, I don't know what I'm doing. All that I was sewing in my room. I don't know nothing. That was such a humbling experience. It was definitely humbling to think that you know something, and then when you meet with the expert and you realize, listen, baby, you need to bring it down. Like, you don't know what you don't know. I'm really glad that I took it upon myself to enroll in a professional course. That was one of the feedback comments that I got from one of the Achoebi women. She told me that, listen, you need to do some professional training. I still want to do her level 3 course. That's probably going to be one of my goals at some point in 2026, because she has a power making course. I think that will also take my brand to the next level. But for right now, from what I learned, I want to take that and work with that, build upon it. And that's why I've opened the doors back up to custom dress orders. You guys will be able to see the dresses that I'm going to be making. The level is different. Even cutting fabric, I didn't know that there's a certain way to cut fabric and the grain line, and even how to press. And I learned about different fabrics and how to properly iron, how to properly cut, and all of these different things. Guys, it's so much that goes into it. Before, I was truly a cut and join tailor. I was just a cut and join, just cut the fabric, bing, 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 sew it. What I thought was 1/2 inch was not 1/2 inch. Like, even my seam allowances were so off. Now I'm much more meticulous and detailed with my work, and I'm so happy about my progress. I'm not going to call myself a professional or an expert. I won't say that I'm there yet. I definitely still have a long way to go, but I feel comfortable now to make clothes for other people and just to put myself back out there again. Yeah, tips and advice that I have: it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to make mistakes. The most important thing is to learn from it, grow from it. Learn to take feedback, even if the person is angry, whether they're nice or not nice. Take the feedback. When someone's giving you feedback, you eat the meat and you throw out the bones. Well, let me take this professional course, because if I didn't do that, where would I be today? Still not knowing how to cut fabric. Hope this video is not boring. So yeah, like I said, if you need a custom dress sewn, give the person, even if it's not with me, whoever you're gonna get something custom made by, at least a month. If you want to be on the safe side, 2 months, because I'm realizing now a big reason why that disaster happened was because I tried to do so much in a little time. Yeah, even now that I'm trained, I still wouldn't do something like that, because haste makes waste, and I'm not gonna rush somebody's outfit just to get it done for them. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you guys learned a lot. Once again, if you're interested in getting a custom dress made by me, made by Teresa Slay, head over to SafelySlay.com or send us an email, info@SafelySlay.com, and let's get the process going. So thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. See you in the next video. Bye.